My name is Adeline Gibson, and what I am about to share with you has profoundly transformed everything I believed about life, death, and the invisible forces that surround us constantly. Before this experience, I was, like many of you, living a routine life, focused on my work as a pediatric nurse and occasionally going to church on Sundays. However, on October 15th, 2023, I died for 7 minutes and 42 seconds. I clearly remember that morning. The crisp autumn air enveloped the landscape, while the sunrise painted the sky in vibrant shades of orange and pink. I was heading to work as usual, driving along Route 27, a route I knew perfectly. The radio was playing softly, and I believe an old hymn like Amazing Grace was playing, which now seems almost symbolic given what was about to happen. I didn't see the truck coming. Later, I learned that the driver had fallen asleep at the wheel, crossing the center lane before colliding head-on with my car. At the moment of impact, all I remember is the deafening noise of metal contorting. Then, something extraordinary happened. A deep sense of calm, unlike anything I had ever felt before. The transition was instantaneous. In the blink of an eye, I floated above the accident scene, watching my body now motionless in the driver's seat as emergency vehicles arrived. The red and blue lights reflected off the surroundings, casting dramatic shadows in the soft morning light. But what truly caught my attention, what touched my soul in an indescribable way, were the beings of light surrounding my car. These beings were not like the angels seen in pictures or holiday decorations. They were magnificent, radiating pure light and an intense love that is impossible to describe with words. Their presence was both powerful and gentle, something that our human language cannot grasp in all its grandeur. As I observed in wonder, I realized that these beings were not there by chance. They had been there well before the accident. One of them turned to me for a moment. Its appearance was hard to define, as it seemed to shift form, as if it were made of living light. Different contours formed and dissolved before my eyes. Yet the sensation that filled my being was one of total familiarity, as if I were meeting an old friend I had known all my life. But somehow, what I experienced during this brief moment challenged all logic and beliefs I held until then. What seemed like the end of my journey was actually a doorway to a reality far broader than I could have ever imagined. And this experience left me with a profound feeling that there is so much more between heaven and earth than our eyes can perceive. "Welcome, Adeline," said the angel, but not with words as we know them. Its communication was pure, transmitted directly into my consciousness in the form of thoughts and emotion. There is so much to understand about your journey and the protection that surrounds all of God's children. At that moment, another being approached me, my guardian angel, as I would discover later. This being had been by my side since the first breath I took. Suddenly, I was overwhelmed by a vivid memory of its presence throughout my life. Every near accident, every moment, I had felt an inexplicable force guiding me to take a different direction. It was him, always there, protecting. "Would you like to see my guardian angel?" he asked, extending what I could only describe as a hand of light towards. "Would you like to understand how we work in your world?" I nodded, or at least that was my intention, a gesture that somehow I had still managed to maintain, despite no longer having a physical body to perform it. It is curious how these human gestures persist within us, even when we transcend matter. In that moment, we embarked on a journey that I can only describe as a traverse through time and space, but not in the way we usually understand these concepts. The first thing I was shown was my own life, but now from their perspective. I saw myself as a child, about to put something dangerous in my mouth, and there was my guardian angel, gently redirecting me towards a toy. Then, I saw myself as a teenager, about to get into a car with a drunken friend. The angel made me feel a sudden sense of unease, prompting me instinctively to call my parents to come get me. But it wasn't just the major, decisive moments that were under their guidance. They also showed me how their work unfolded in the small, everyday moments. I saw how they inspired kind thoughts in the people around me. When I had a tough day, I would watch them coordinate what could be called coincidences, crossing my path with the right person at the right time, ensuring I found exactly what I needed when I needed it most. But that's only part of what we do, my guardian angel explained. Now, watch and understand the greater battle. The scene changed, and suddenly I could see the world as they did, layers upon layers of reality coexisting simultaneously. What I perceived as our physical world was just a thin layer of an infinitely complex tapestry. In the deeper layers, something terrified and amazed me at the same time, a spiritual war taking place around us continuously. I saw angels fighting against dark forces, shadowy entities seeking to harm, discourage, and destroy. These battles were not fought with swords or spears, but with light against darkness, truth against lies, hope against despair. I watched them, tirelessly struggling to protect not only individuals, but also whole communities, nations, and even the planet itself. I was made to understand how they operated within the context of hospitals, my workplace, which took on a new dimension before my eyes. I saw angels near the beds of patients, comforting the dying, strengthening the weak, and sometimes participating in miraculous healings when it aligned with God's will. This revelation about the invisible world and the constant battle fought by spiritual forces around us completely changed my perception of what it means to live, suffer, and struggle. More than ever, I understood the extent of the protection that surrounds us and the importance of the forces guiding us, even in the most difficult and incomprehensible moments of life. I watched them, silent and attentive, inspiring doctors with sudden insights and guiding the hands of nurses during delicate procedures. The work I did as a nurse, my guardian angel explained, had always been a collaboration with them. Often, when I had a gut feeling about a patient's condition, it was they who were communicating with me. When I felt an inexplicable urge to check on a patient outside of my regular rounds, it was their impulse that guided me. They showed me specific moments where my actions, which seemed like random choices, had actually saved lives. I saw how the angels worked through me, comforting worried parents of their sick children, noticing subtle symptoms that led to crucial diagnoses, and being exactly in the right place at the right time to act in case of emergency. However, what impressed me the most was the extent of their action. I was taught that every human being, from the moment of conception, has at least one guardian angel assigned to them. These angels never rest, never sleep, and never give up their mission to guide and protect. They work in perfect harmony, forming a vast network of protection and guidance that envelops the entire planet. I was shown how angels interact with human free will. They never force us to make choices, but create opportunities and circumstances, inspiring thoughts that can guide us toward better decisions. They respect our freedom of choice, even when those choices lead us down painful or difficult paths. Remember, my guardian angel said, "We are servants of the Most High. Our power comes from Him, and our purpose is to help fulfill His plans for humanity. We rejoice in your victories and weep with your struggles, but we never lose sight of the greater purpose." They showed me how they frequently work through others, inspiring random acts of kindness, a timely call, a message that arrives as a relief, or even people unknowingly praying for others. Each act of kindness, every moment of inspiration, every coincidence was part of a complex and divine dance between heaven and earth. The angels also showed me how they protect children in a special way. I saw them surrounding schools, playgrounds, and homes, creating barriers of light to keep shadows at bay. They illuminate these spaces, providing protection and inspiring the imagination and creativity of children who, being more open to the spiritual realm, are able to perceive their presence more easily than adults. I also observed how the angels act during natural disasters. While they may not always be able to prevent these events, because they serve purposes we may not fully understand from our limited perspective, they work to minimize the loss of human life. Moreover, they create opportunities for human kindness and solidarity to manifest. I saw how they were present in moments of crisis, during car accidents, medical emergencies, and even during imminent crimes. I watched in amazement as the angels slowed down time in microseconds to prevent accidents or guide people away from danger when prevention was not possible. They strove to minimize harm, coordinating rapid responses from emergency services. What impressed me the most was perceiving the coordination among the angels. When a guardian angel detects a potential danger in the future, they communicate with other guardian angels to create a chain of events that can avert that risk. It was like a cosmic game of chess with the entire universe involved, full of infinite possibilities. They also showed me how they work while we sleep, often using this state to process trauma, solve issues, or even prepare us for future challenges. I witnessed how they inspire artists, musicians, and writers, infusing human creative expression with their divine light. Additionally, I was taught how angels interact with technology. They can guide people in creating applications and tools that unexpectedly assist humanity, leading to inventions that touch lives and offer solutions to problems that once seemed unimaginable. I also learned that angels work with animals, especially those that provide emotional support to humans, such as service animals and pets. I saw how they guide these animals, helping them to save lives or provide comfort, and how they can also use them to warn of impending danger. What I witnessed was a vast and complex spiritual operation with angels, always working to guide, protect, and inspire humanity in ways we cannot always comprehend, but that are present in every aspect of our lives, in shadow and light at every step of our journey. The angels revealed to me how they engage in invisible spiritual battles fought continuously in the unseen realm. They struggle against dark forces seeking to destroy, deceive, and discourage humanity. Although these battles are invisible to our eyes, their effects are profound and real in our world. I saw how the angels protect our minds, our relationships, and our faith, warding off attacks aimed at weakening us. But, as my guardian angel explained, our greatest weapon is love. The light of divine love is stronger than any darkness, and when we choose to love, forgive, and show kindness, we collaborate with them in ways we often don't even perceive. They showed me how they work in churches and other places of worship, strengthening faith, inspiring hope, and facilitating genuine encounters with God. But they also showed me how they act in unexpected places in bars, where a person on the brink of suicide can find hope through the kindness of a stranger in prisons, where hearts are transformed, and in the streets, where the homeless receive unexpected help. These moments of divine intervention happen everywhere, demonstrating that love and divine assistance have no limits or boundary. I also learned that angels perceive time differently than we do. They can see potential futures and work to guide us toward the best possibilities, all while respecting our free will. I was taught to understand how he often marks divine encounters, those magical moments when we meet exactly the right person, at just the right moment when we make a decision that changes the course of our lives for the better. The angels showed me how they operate within families, strengthening bonds, inspiring reconciliations, and protecting children. I have seen how, at times, they act through family members who have already passed, allowing them to participate in a special way in the care of their loved ones. They also showed me how they intervene at the moment of death, not only for those who pass peacefully, but also in accidents, war zones, and hospitals. The angels ensure that no one dies alone, even if loved ones cannot be present physically. They guide souls, comfort the dying, and often allow people to have glimpses of their deceased loved ones before them. This is a tremendous comfort for both those who are departing and for those who remain. I learned that angels celebrate our victories, not just the great accomplishments, but also the small choices we make each day for good. Every act of kindness, every moment of spiritual growth, every decision to forgive or take a step of faith is a source of joy for them. As my experience continued, I was taught about the collaboration of angels with other celestial beings. I saw how all of heaven is actively engaged in helping the earth, always under the perfect guidance of God and respecting human free will. The angels showed me how they protect, win world leaders, helping them make decisions that benefit humanity. They work in government buildings during peace negotiations and in humanitarian missions, always seeking the good, even in the most challenging circumstances. I also saw how they interact with time, being able to see the past, present, and potential futures simultaneously. They showed me how they work to heal generational trauma and break negative patterns within families and communities. Furthermore, the angels revealed how they operate in the realm of science, artistic creation, and technological innovation, inspiring humans to develop solutions that help others and advance civilization in a positive way. I saw how they were present in labs, art studios, and tech startups, subtly guiding human creativity towards beneficial discoveries. They also showed me how they act in the digital era, influencing social media and other forms of communication. They inspire people to share messages of hope and connect with one another, bringing encouragement and support in times of need. I learned to see how, sometimes, angels act through random online encounters, creating connections between people and offering help to those who need it most. These encounters are often moments of divine intervention disguised as simple coincidences, but with a deeper and more meaningful purpose. As my experience came to a close, my guardian angel delivered a final message, a reminder that although we are always surrounded by these invisible and powerful forces, the choice to act with love, kindness, and faith is always ours. And by doing so, we not only change our lives, but also contribute to the grand divine plan that involves all of humanity. Adeline, you have not yet finished your mission. Your journey is not over, but remember what you have seen and share it with others. Help them understand that they are never alone, never abandoned, and that they will never lose hope. These words echoed in my mind as I felt drawn back toward my body. However, before I returned, I received one last gift, a heart-wrenching vision of God's infinite love for humanity. It was something unparalleled, more real than any experience I had ever had up to that moment. I understood that angels are manifestations of this divine love, tirelessly working to guide us and draw us closer to our divine purpose. The return to my body was a shock. When I woke up, I was in the hospital, surrounded by machines and worried faces. I had been clinically dead for 7 minutes and 42 seconds, and the doctors called my recovery a miracle. Now, I understood why ill. Since that moment, the world has never been the same for me. I began to notice the subtle signs of angelic interventions, everywhere in coincidences, unexpected encounters, and inexplicable protection. I learned to pay attention to gentle nudges, deep feelings, sensations of peace or alertness that would arise without explanation. I share my story not to dwell on the experience of my near death, but to help others understand the immense love and protection that surrounds us at every moment of the day. Angels are real. They are active and tirelessly working on our behalf. They want us to know that we are never alone, that heaven is closer than we think, and that God's love for us is more real and present than we can perceive. My experience taught me something profound. Life is more miraculous, more protected, and more meaningful than many of us realize. Every day, armies of angels are around us, fighting for us, guiding us, and protecting us, not only from physical dangers, but also helping us fulfill our divine purpose. They want us to know that every life has a purpose, that every person is precious, and that no one is truly alone. I have returned to my work as a nurse now with a new vision. I understand that I am not just treating bodies, but that I am part of something much greater. I am partnering with the angels, helping to bring healing and hope to others. I pay more attention to the little nudges, like the need to check on a specific patient or to say just the right words of encouragement. The angels want you to know that you are more loved than you can imagine. They're by your side, protecting you in ways you might not even perceive. And most importantly, you are never alone. There are angels who are taking care of you. working to guide you toward the best possible future while honoring your free will. They also want you to know that prayer is powerful. They listen to it and work with it, using it to help us in ways we may never fully understand in this life. Every act of kindness. The next time you feel an inexplicable urge to call someone, to take a different path, or to wait just a moment longer. The next time you experience an inexplicable coincidence or receive unexpected help in a time of need, remember that these are often the fingerprints of angels at work in your life. My near-death experience showed me that we are surrounded by more love, protection, and meaning than we can perceive. While we may not be able to see our guardian angels all the time, they see us, love us, and work tirelessly for our benefit.